Retirement is supposed to feel like freedom. The day you finally step away from work after decades of showing up, solving problems, and meeting responsibilities is something most people imagine for years. But here's something very few people talk about. The moment others find out you're retired, things begin to change. Not in some dramatic or obvious way. No announcement gets made, no one sits you down and explains the new rules. Yet somehow, almost overnight, people start seeing you differently. Suddenly, your time looks wide open, your schedule seems flexible, and without realizing it, the expectations around you begin to shift. The surprising part is that retirement itself isn't usually what creates the stress. The stress often starts after people hear the news. Friends begin assuming you're available, family starts thinking you have extra time, small requests begin appearing where they never did before. And if the details of your retirement aren't fully prepared yet, those outside pressures can turn what should be a calm transition into something much more complicated. That's why announcing retirement too early can quietly create problems most people never see coming. Before anyone knows you've stepped away from work, there are a few things that need to be firmly in place. These aren't complicated strategies or secret financial tricks. They're simply the three foundations that make retirement stable, predictable, and protected once the outside world starts reacting to the news. In this video, we're going to walk through three important things you need to put in place before telling anyone you're retired. When these pieces are set up first, you get to share the news on your own terms, with confidence, clarity, and far fewer surprises waiting for you afterward. Hello, I'm Sanju, and over the years I've spent a lot of time studying and discussing retirement planning and the real-life challenges people face once they step away from work. One pattern appears again and again. Many people get excited about retirement and tell everyone right away, friends, family, co-workers, before the important parts of their plan are fully in place. The problem is that once the news is out, the pressure and expectations start immediately, often before people are truly prepared for them. Most people think retirement planning is mainly about numbers, investment accounts, savings, market performance, and how long the money will last. Those things are important, of course, but retirement isn't shaped only by finances. What often catches people off guard is something much less discussed, the expectations that appear once others know you're retired. Friends assume your schedule is open, family starts thinking you have extra time, certain requests and responsibilities begin to show up simply because people believe you're now available. And this is where the real issue begins. The moment the announcement is made, those expectations start forming whether you're ready for them or not. That's why the timing of when you tell people you're retiring matters more than most people realize. Section 1. The Hidden Social Shift. The moment people hear that you've retired, something subtle begins to change. No one makes a formal announcement about it, but the way others see your time starts to shift. Suddenly, you're viewed as someone who has an open schedule and plenty of flexibility. Family is usually the first to adjust. If someone needs help during the day, your name quickly comes to mind. Maybe it's watching the grandkids for a few hours, helping with school pickup, letting the dog out, or meeting a contractor at the house. None of these requests seem unreasonable on their own. After all, in their eyes, you're the one person who no longer has a work schedule. Friends tend to follow right behind. Lunch invitations begin appearing in the middle of the week. Daytime activities get suggested more often. Small projects or favors start sounding casual at first, but over time, they quietly become regular expectations. At the beginning, it all feels harmless, a quick favor here, a small commitment there, but slowly those small requests begin stacking up. What started as occasional help can turn into ongoing responsibilities that show up on your calendar week after week. Before long, your days start filling with things you never actually planned for. Your time becomes organized around other people's needs, rather than the lifestyle you imagined when you decided to retire. And this is where the real problem appears. As your time becomes more committed, your spending often increases as well. Extra outings, travel plans, meals with friends, or picking up small expenses for others begin adding up. None of these costs seem large individually, but together they can slowly push your retirement lifestyle away from the plan you originally built.
Section 2. First thing to secure before telling anyone you're retired. The first thing that needs to be in place before telling anyone you're retired is a clear and reliable income plan. Retirement works very differently from working years. During your career, income arrives automatically through a paycheck. Once that paycheck stops, your financial system has to replace it in a structured and predictable way. This means you need complete clarity on where your monthly income will come from and how it will arrive. Retirement becomes far less stressful when every dollar has a defined source and timeline. Instead of guessing or hoping things work out, you already know how the financial side of your life operates. A strong income plan starts with cash flow clarity. You need to understand how much money is coming in each month and which accounts will provide that income. Savings, investment accounts, pensions, or other sources all play a role, but they must work together in an organized way. Next comes the withdrawal strategy. Not all accounts are meant to be used at the same time or in the same order. Some funds may be better used earlier, while others are designed to last longer. The sequence of withdrawals affects taxes, longevity of savings, and long-term financial flexibility. Another important part of the plan is the timeline of income sources. Certain income streams might start later, such as pensions or government benefits. That creates a period in the early years of retirement where other sources must fill the gap. And that leads to one of the most important parts of retirement planning, the early retirement years. Those first years often carry the most uncertainty because some income sources haven't started yet. Planning this phase carefully helps prevent financial pressure later on. All of this matters even more before you announce your retirement to others. Once people hear the news, questions tend to appear quickly. Friends and family become curious. Some ask out of concern, others simply out of interest. Without a clear plan, those conversations can create doubt or uncertainty. But when your income strategy is already in place, the situation feels completely different. Instead of guessing or defending your decision, you speak with confidence because you already understand exactly how your retirement income works. Section 3. Second thing to prepare before telling anyone you're retired is stress testing your tax strategy. Retirement changes the way taxes work, and many people don't realize how different things become once regular wages stop. During working years, taxes are fairly predictable because income mainly comes from a paycheck. In retirement, income often comes from several different places, and each one can be taxed differently. Withdrawals from certain accounts count as taxable income, while others may be treated differently depending on how and when the money is taken. This is where things can start to shift quickly. The amount you withdraw each year can affect your tax bracket. A larger withdrawal than expected can push your total income higher, which means a greater portion of your money could be taxed at a higher rate. Social Security also adds another layer. When benefits begin, they interact with the rest of your income. Depending on how much you withdraw from other accounts, a portion of those benefits may become taxable. Many retirees are surprised by this because it doesn't always work the way people expect. There's also the possibility of unexpected tax spikes. A single large withdrawal, a major asset sale, or a poorly timed distribution can temporarily raise income far above the normal level for that year. When that happens, taxes can increase much more than anticipated. Another area people often overlook is the connection between income and Medicare premiums. Medicare costs are partially based on income levels from previous years. If income rises significantly during one year, premiums can increase later, even if income drops again afterward. Large withdrawals can also create ripple effects in future years. What seems like a simple financial decision today can quietly increase costs later. This is exactly why testing the plan in advance is so important. By looking at different scenarios ahead of time, you can see how taxes behave in both normal and high-income years.
When you do this preparation early, the retirement strategy becomes far more resilient. Instead of reacting to unexpected tax bills or rising premiums, the plan has already been examined from multiple angles. That preparation helps protect your income and keeps the financial side of retirement running smoothly under different conditions. Section 4. Third thing to establish before telling anyone you're retired is clear boundaries around your time and your money. This becomes important because the moment retirement becomes public, expectations often begin to grow. People don't usually intend to create pressure, but once they know you're no longer working, they naturally assume your schedule is more open than it used to be. That assumption quickly turns into requests. Time is usually the first area where this happens. Family members might start asking for help during the day. It could be watching the grandkids, running errands, or helping with small tasks around the house. Friends may begin suggesting weekday activities, daytime meetups, or last-minute plans simply because they believe your calendar is flexible now. Over time, those small requests can slowly build into ongoing commitments. Without realizing it, your availability becomes something others start planning around. Money can become another pressure point. Once people hear that you're retired, some may assume you have greater financial flexibility. That can lead to requests for loans, financial help, gifts, or assistance with expenses. Most of the time, these requests come from a genuine place, but they can still create uncomfortable situations if expectations are unclear. This is why deciding your boundaries ahead of time is so important. When you already know what you're comfortable with, it becomes much easier to respond calmly and confidently when those requests appear. It also helps to discuss these boundaries with your spouse or close family members before retirement becomes public. Being aligned on how you handle time commitments and financial requests prevents confusion later. When everyone understands the limits in advance, decisions become easier and far less stressful. Before telling anyone that you're retired, it's important to make sure a few key pieces are already in place. First, lock in your income plan so you know exactly where your monthly money is coming from and how it supports your lifestyle. Second, stress test your tax strategy so unexpected withdrawals, income changes, or benefits don't create costly surprises later. And third, set clear boundaries for your time and your money so other people's expectations don't slowly reshape the retirement you worked so hard to build. When these three foundations are prepared ahead of time, retirement begins with clarity instead of confusion. You're not reacting to pressure or figuring things out as you go. You're stepping into this new chapter knowing that the important decisions have already been thought through. If you'd like to learn more about how to prepare your retirement plan the right way, take a look at the resources linked below. They walk through the key ideas in more detail and help you think through the decisions that matter most. And remember, retirement is one of the biggest transitions in life. Taking the time to prepare carefully before making the announcement can make the entire experience far more stable, confident, and enjoyable.